My never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o see them yopo.
So when it comes to religion, they're very, very delicate. And there's something the NPP government is doing. And what they are doing, and they are trying, especially Mahmoud Bawumia, he's trying everything possible. So Obeki can religions nitia boom, all because of power. Now, the Ahmadiyya mission in Ghana, they had an event. And they invited former President Mahama, they invited Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, something happened there. It should be one thing, a big lesson to Ghanaians, especially our religious bodies. Now, program Nekosono, Mahmoud Bawumia Kobi, KT Hammond, Makacha Ghana for Oye Peninia with Jimmy. KT Hammond started Jimmy, with Jimmy fitting Kora Bremwa Babedrune. And the Ghana for Eda which is so KT Hammond, so man, be minister. KT Hammond naturally Oye Jimmy for Oye Ahmadiyya ni a Jimmy when it's him. But KT Hammond has never used his brain. And you know why? Because the Bawumia camp now, KT Hammond Kauno, they believe, say, when they lie to the religious bodies, when they're able to pitch the religious bodies against each other, when Bawumia is able to infiltrate yan sorry ne yan sumna and no ne betuma keka omutirabo momu nyina bedi Bawumia chi. It is always steady Mahmoud Bawumia ne line of campaigner. It has always geared towards religion. The oya ne say owura asori dan we mu not the campaign owura ho. Owura asori dan we mu not the campaign owura ho. The last time Okopia Obuasi, na se Pentecost, was a Methodist, was a press before your program. You could see say MPP for ekuta placards. Was sorry them ho. A whole event and say MPP the entuma and a Bawumia dim and a presby sorry for say to collection. Now we did not see these kind of things before this group of NPP4 took power. Now what they have been able to do, they have been able to bring the religion down to the point whereby today adding for Ghanaians to even listen to religious leaders or listen to in Soreno. If you say Mahmoud Bawumia MPP, their idea now is do campaign onyame asori them. And what they do is they don't select. It could be a Christian religion, it could be Islamic religion, it could be any religion. All that they want to do is they want to destabilize the religion to the point whereby they will all be politicized. Sanya beya asori ne kwan to mean jina in a neutral ground, and to speak on issues without being biased. And internet today, there are so many people in Ghana, they are having issues with a lot of religious bodies and their leadership. And before the NPP, we didn't have that problem. But these religious bodies, they were all there. They have lived with us since the beginning of time. We have never seen religion religion and people cannot respect the religion. And we have been speaking about this. We have been speaking against this. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say, so one for religion and bobo ankeka religious leaders any religion any omudi or some osumechia ankeka omutiamboma, he can never win power. But it is dangerous. It is dangerous because say politicians ebe wura yen sorim the political statement and political biasness in Rema, the gospel asemna onyankopon asem no, it will diminish, and when the gospel diminishes, the rest is chaos. Because majority of Ghanaians, whether Christian or Muslim, what is holding us together? One thing, we believe in one God, even though we worship that God from different channels. That is the only thing that we hold on to. Because at the end of the day, we need to live in harmony. And Tuba will say we have been able to overcome not because we are exceptional, not because it is because we have come to a point to understand the say some differently until we need to respect that. Whether we are Christian, we are Muslim, we are Hare Krishna, we are we believe say this is one God. At the end of the day, we can all worship him through different sources. But Bawumia ya debi Bawumia is forcing the church to become political. Bawumia, since he decided or running to be president, he is using religion. He is spitting on religion. He is, at the end of the day, as we speak, he is inflicting a lot of confusion, and it is becoming dangerous. But there's something that every day, BBC, we need to always sit back and say, hey, we need to look at this, take a step back and start speaking. Now, the Ahmadiyya mission in Ghana had an event. And we invited Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. They invited President Mahama. But something disgusting, something at a time happened. And it is the lowest point in our politics as a nation. And any religious body, any believer who belongs to any religious body should speak against this. And this should be the lowest in our religion. We should not allow politicians like that to even think, say, they will lead us. Because when these things happen and we don't get leaders who are honest, leaders who believe that the gospel is different from politics, leaders who do not put their interests before the interests of politicians, gradually we get politicians destroying the church, destroying religious bodies because of power. The leader of the Ahmadiyya mission in Ghana, Alhaji Muhammad bin Sali, has done something unique, and I will say this on my platform. He is not God. He is not the holiest man on earth. He's human like us. But there's one principle that he has decided to live with. He might have done something good today. If he does something wrong tomorrow, we will speak against it. But when people decide to put God first, when people decide to say, nipa interest about, such people are supposed to be revered. They are supposed to be done. They are supposed to be commended. They are supposed to be given the needed nod. And such religions are supposed to be respected. And that is what the leader of the Ahmadiyya mission in Ghana did. Mahmoud Bawumia and KT Hammond went to this event, and the most despicable thing in the history of this country happened. But Ahmadiyya for Ghana Damwase, and I sit here as a Christian. But what I saw from your leadership, and I want to say this, say Adia WBC, na say NDC for Krana Yesadena. I'm not going to sit here and defend it. Every religion should be able to tell Ghana for say whether it's NDC or MPP, when it comes to asori them yenya politics. Say John Dramani Mahama eko jina soribi, ana NDC for ko jina soribi with Mahama. Na mo koye de KT Hammond any Bawumia koye wo Ahmadiyya for program asia. Na say yehu we all should rise up and speak against it, because we should not allow greedy, very corrupt people who just want power to underestimate or undermine the presence of God. People who are there. Now, video, let's watch everything. Yeah, I'll tell you something. You're still watching. With all due respect, celebration.
I am not get to I mean, what can you know? But Bibi Kakraka were chilling and made it so and son, vice president of Abakasa. Or the vice president of the Republic of Ghana, one Fabian Sordo. The president of the Republic of Ghana was January 2025. President of Ghana 2025. Mr. Current Vice President, President to be, you are invited. Oh yeah, ready. Also, yeah, ready. Madam, 1 second. 1 minute. Your Excellency, I'm the moderator. My senior brother Honorable took the ring out of me. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community completely disown the statement that the Honorable KT Hammond has made. He has expressed his own desires. Political desire. Our desire is that leader who will lead Ghana once more. Who will lead Ghana once more into its position in the Committee of Nations, so that we can command that respect. which Ghana is known for. That is the leader we praying to Allah, that Allah Ta'ala should give us that kind of leader. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
Yasamuno kitwabi ami wakani nyewe but bibi kakraka we chiri na mbede sora ansa na vice president wa bakasa. Already the vice president of the Republic of Ghana wan Fabian Sodo. The president of the Republic of Ghana was January 2025. President of Ghana 2025. Mr. Current Vice President, President to be, you are invited. Oh yeah, ready. Also, yeah, ready. Madam, 1 second. 1 minute.
Your Excellency, I'm the moderator. My senior brother Honorable took the ring out of me. Yes. He said I invited. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community completely disown the statement that the Honorable Katie Hammond has made. He has expressed his own desires. Political desire. Our desire is that leader who will lead Ghana once more. Who will lead Ghana once more into its position in the Committee of Nations, so that we can command that respect which Ghana is known for. That is the leader we praying to Allah, that Allah Ta'ala should give us that kind of leader. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum. What's it? So obviously, the vice president is here with.
Ayasamuno kitwabi ami wakani nyewe but bibi kakraka we chiri na mbede sora ansa na vice president wa bakasa. Already the vice president of the Republic of Ghana wan Fabian Sodo. The president of the Republic of Ghana was January 2025. President of Ghana 2025. Mr. Current Vice President, President to be, you are invited. Oh yeah, ready. Also, yeah, ready. Madam, 1 second.
1 minute. Your Excellency, I'm the moderator. My senior brother Honorable took the ring out of me. Yes. He said I invited. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community completely disown the statement that the Honorable Katie Hammond has made. He has expressed his own desires. Political desire. Our desire is that leader who will lead Ghana once more. Who will lead Ghana once more into its position in the Committee of Nations, so that we can command that respect which Ghana is known for. That is the leader we praying to Allah, that Allah Ta'ala should give us that kind of leader. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
Now, this video, so video say it's just about Ahmadiyya mission, then you are seriously getting it wrong. This has been the tactics of NPP. They are forcing some of the religious bodies to accept their political ideology and their presidential candidates. This is the first time that we get a presidential candidate force himself on a religion. And it is not only Ahmadiyya. We have seen it in different religious groups. How the NPP goes there and they basically turn that religious body into a political train where they expect everybody who is part of that Sa or Somno to follow Dr. Bawumia. And this is something we need to speak against. This is something that is dangerous. This is something that we are not supposed to allow politicians to make it a norm where we want to build a nation that God, Allah in his own wisdom wants us to build. Because if we allow politicians, a Jimmy Fortiseke Hammond, to come with Bawumia to force themselves on the word, to let their political ambition overtake the word, what Allah in his own wisdom, what the gospel stands for, then we as a nation are getting blind, because politics cannot lead us. It is only when we allow Allah in his own wisdom to choose who he believes, and through our effort, by thinking through the wisdom Allah in his own wisdom granted us, to select we leaders who respect the will of Allah, respect the will of the people, respect himself. So you are not supposed to go to church and it's a ura asole them. Now go catch a sorry for and say, hey, Bawumia and the next president, what about them? Where Jimmy? Don't you respect the presence of Allah? At least, say, when Jimmy cry, you have to respect the presence of Allah, because before Allah, there is no politician before Allah. It is souls that are gathered in the name of Allah. And you cannot bring your foolish political ambition when Allah's presence is felt. When people from different tribes, different background, different homes come together in the name of Allah, you do not make a human being. You do not come and sell a human being before the greatness of Allah. You have committed the biggest crime. And that is what KT Hammond and Mahmoud Bawumia and the MPP, they have been doing continuously in our politics since they came to power. So the last time I was speaking about the Pentecost fire, today, the NPP is more visible in the Church of Pentecost that we all revere and respect than the gospel. Because when you allow the political statement to lead the gospel, then it means we are all being led into a ditch. And consistently, Mahmoud Bawumia and the NPP, they have made it a point that they are going to infiltrate every church. That is why I say, even though the leader of the Ahmadiyya, Al-Hajj Muhammad bin Salih, he is not perfect, but at least that moment he showed that the Ahmadiyya mission in Ghana stands for truth and stands for Allah, and that every single human being have their political preference. So it is not before the people who are ready, who are clean to accept the word of Allah. It is not before them, and you will choose a human being's political ambition over Allah's word. So every single Ahmadiyya person in Ghana, you should applaud yourself. Your leadership have shown, say, yes, these political parties, and I'm not going to basically say NPP, but they have taken the lead. Say, if there is an event, na say Ahmadiyya for free NDC for na John Dramani Mahama begina ho na NDC ni begina ho because say just bring in the next president, that nonsense is supposed to be shut down, because that's not a political platform. The reason why they call you people to be part of it is because they want you people to understand that even though they are a religious body, even though you people belong to different political parties, they still see you people as Ghanaians and as children of Allah. And I believe, say, if you are an Ahmadiyya in Ghana today, what KT Hammond and Mahmoud Bawumia say, they wanted to infiltrate and poison the Ahmadiyya mission. Because if your leaders had not proactively thought through this to make an intervention, then automatically it would have sent a signal out there, say Ahmadiyya sorry no, support Mahmoud Bawumia. It has become a political church, and that is dangerous, because if the leader had not come out to speak the way he spoke, to let Ghanaians understand, say, yene Ahmadiyya for eya onyame enande ameyeshia wa ha, say ye pesi ye obi mani di Ghana so a, first of all onyankopon adwene mu no eya ye pia obi a obe nkabom a onim nyansa obu onyame asem. The human being original or individual, when he goes to vote, there's nobody there. But when we allow politicians to come and do this, what would have happened? And I say, you and I would say Ahmadiyya for nyina MPP for, which is bad for the image of the church. And you are not supposed to use one mistake like this to destroy what Allah in his own wisdom has built. 1882, thereabout, and Ahmadiyya came into existence. It has gone through different regimes. It has gone through different eras. It has gone through so many things, but it has stood still and believed that this was established to extol Allah, to make Allah the omnipotent, the Allah the greatest. It wasn't, even though it has gone through the mill, it never took stance when it came to politics. It was orchestrated, it was planned. They wanted to soil the Ahmadiyya church, Ahmadiyya mission. And I would like to tell the Ahmadiyya people, this is the time you people have to be vigilant. Bawumia, if he gets the opportunity, he will destroy your church, your mission. He will destroy what God has built. The little mistake Ahmadiyya for, and it does not go to only Ahmadiyya. What I want to tell Ghana for, and sorry what Ghana and say, the slightest mistake you would do, Mahamudu Bawumia and MPP for no, these dirty people, they will destroy what God has built. You see, today, it is so difficult for the Church of Pentecost leaders to make a statement without people reading meanings into it. For you know, the leadership of Pentecost Church are not political. They don't have any political affiliation. But because consistently you have allowed a political party to take control of the gospel, which they are supposed to make, they're in the lead, you know. Today, whenever they speak, you are forced to read political connotations in them. And with a sad heart, with a painful heart, NPP led by Bawumia, they have destroyed the Pentecost church. That is why the last time I said the Pentecost fire has not died yet. It still needs to look at itself, look inward, and start to bring the fire back by moving itself, its teachings, its practices from politics. Its leadership is too intertwined in political activities. They are making the Pentecost fire, the Pentecost church, believe or think that it has taken a political position. The moment the people start to think that way, that fire, that Holy Ghost fire that holds or bonds the church, it disappears and it becomes a regular group. And what the Ahmadiyya leader did today was to save Allah, to save Allah's word. Because it takes one man, it will take only one man to mislead millions of people who believe in Allah. Let me tell you for a fact, no man on earth has seen Allah before. And Allah in his own wisdom created man in his own image. He has a reason why he put every man on this earth with a spirit in him. Allah has the power to control every man, but Allah has given the will to man to do what they want, because Allah wants to see how far you can go to recognize that he is your creator. We are fallible. If we allow men, they will take us away from Allah. And because we don't want to move away from Allah, we don't give some men who, because of political ambition, greed, we are not supposed to give them room to even get the little or slightest ideas that they can mislead the people of Allah. So the Ahmadiyya church, they have set an example, and this goes to all the churches in Ghana. It's about time the church moved away from active partisan politics. It is about time the church made the people understand we are the church. We don't take sides. We basically are the people of God. Even though we vote, we cannot make our church represent politicians or political parties. And if this man had not taken the step, whatever from 1882 that put together the Ahmadiyya mission, it would have collapsed that day. Yesterday or today, it would have collapsed it. And we are not supposed to allow politicians to do that. We are not supposed to allow politicians to do that. We are not supposed to allow politicians to do that, because the more we do that, the more we separate ourselves from Allah. Politics came. Allah existed before politics. Politics came. Men existed before politics. We should not allow greedy Politicians like Bawumia and his group of MPP who are so desperate. You could see the desperation. You could see that they have underestimated or undermined the power of Allah in the presence of the children of Allah. How can you even think about it? And to say, in the presence of Allah, where 2 or 3 have met in the name of Allah, you want to basically instill a politician into the brains of the people. Then it means you hate Allah. It means your ambition and the wisdom in your head is basically about your greed. It's about your selfishness. It is not about extolling Allah and making Allah great. Bawumia is a munifiki. He has never believed in Islam. He has never believed in Allah. He has always been an opportunist, a political opportunist who always want the opportunity to destroy what Allah has built. That's why I keep saying that the leader of Ahmadiyya has saved the word of Allah. Allah will be pleased. He might not be a holy man. He might not be the best man on earth. But at least, if today he loses his life, he has at least saved the Ahmadiyya mission. He has at least saved the presence of Allah in the middle of men. Because what we saw, my fellow Ghanaians, the video you watched, you should not see this slightly. If they had sat back to allow this to happen, because also TS said KT Hammond, it wasn't his job to introduce the vice president. It is a calculated thing by the NPP Bawumia to instill Bawumia on all religious bodies. KT Hammond was there as a guest. Why do you think that KT Hammond will forcefully try and print something in the brains of holy people who have willingly decided to worship their creator? Why do you think KT Hammond will force himself to introduce Bawumia to the people that this guy should be president 2025? They knew what they were doing. That is what they have been doing. They were basically going to destroy the Ahmadiyya mission. And thanks be to Allah, the omnipotent, the Allah, the beginning and the end, the Allah, the greatest. At least, if that man, the leader, know about them, what he did, he was mad for Allah. So now about them, if you saw what he did as being disrespectful, if you saw what Muhammad Salih did as being disrespectful to the chief, the vice president, that man at that moment was crazy for Allah, because men live on earth for Allah. And me being brought up as a Christian, and when I see things like this, when I see men who want to destroy what Allah has built, it worries my heart. Ghana is Ghana because upon all our religious differences, we have always believed in one thing, that whatever the channel that we are worshiping Allah through, at the end of the day, there's one Allah that we all believe in. So men, because of power, Bawumia is too desperate. Bawumia is dangerous. NPP, they are destroying us. The religious bodies are allowing Bawumia to destroy us. That is why sometimes you listen to Islamic scholars, they make emphatic statement. Bawumia or munifiki. Bawumia is a disease. Bawumia is a pock in the middle of a mosque, because he has always infiltrated and poisoned people who are willingly and ready to serve and make sure Allah's name is proclaimed higher. Until every time he finds himself in the middle of men, in the middle of 1, 2, 3 men who in the name of Allah have gathered, Bawumia, his selfish interest always takes lead. Because if Bawumia really believed and respected Allah, when KT Hammond made that statement, he would have sat down. But he was quick to rise up, because he has chosen his own interest over Allah. Because before you are invited to these religious events, you need to understand Allah is first. Whoever is sitting there at that moment should, no matter what, understand that we are here in the name of Allah, and you should not make yourself higher than why we are here. Bawumia Sankano Papa would have shook his head to say, no, we don't do this. This is not right. I am a Muslim, and I've been taught to know that in the presence of Allah, no man is great. But Bawumia was quickly. He was getting up. He was going to speak because he was in a campaign mood, because he thought that is the time for him to release the poison so that his political ambition of being a president comes through. So when you study Islamic scholars, they have always said it is better to keep somebody who is not a Muslim as your leader than to keep a liar or a munifiki who is a Muslim as your leader, because Allah's greatest hate, what Allah hates on earth, there are three things: adultery, lies, and then murder. Allah hates all these three things. So if you are even a Muslim and you see a fellow Muslim who always puts himself before Allah, who is always a liar, you need to understand that that person does not respect your religion. What the Ahmadiyya leadership did, they went to my culture and say, almost save the mission. I swear to God, if this man had not stood up and allowed Bawumia to speak, that would have been the end of the Ahmadiyya mission. I swear to God. But Allah in his own wisdom always finds way into the heart of men for men to fight for him on earth. And that has always been the hallmark of Allah. Every single day, somebody sees something and says, it is Allah who can only touch the heart of men. When you read the Quran, it says, unless Allah give permission, nobody can intercede for you. So you need to understand, whatever the man did there, it wasn't by himself. It was Allah who was saying that what I have built on earth for my kids and my children to believe in and to worship me, I will not allow a fellow man who is a munafiki, who does not respect me, who has always put his interest before me, to destroy it. That's why when you watch the video, the man came, he didn't even understand, but he had to speak.
I have some no kids will be. I mean, walking in there, but Bibi Kakraka were chilling and made Sora and Sana Vice President of Abakasa. Or the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Juan Fabian Sordo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, was January 2025. President of Ghana 2025. Mr. Current Vice President, President to be, you are invited. Oh, yeah, ready. Also, yeah, ready. Madam, 1 second.
1 minute. Your Excellency, I'm the moderator. My senior brother, Honorable, took the ring out of me. Yes. He said I invited.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community completely disown the statement that the Honorable Katie Hammond has made. He has expressed his own desires. Political desire. Our desire is that leader who will lead Ghana once more. Who will lead Ghana once more into its position in the Committee of Nations, so that we can command that respect which Ghana is known for. That is the leader we praying to Allah, that Allah Ta'ala should give us that kind of leader. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
And you know, it hurts. And you know, Samira was sitting there. And that is what they do. Samira Bawumia was sitting there. Muhammadu Bawumia was sitting there. And that is what they do every time. And to be very honest with you, I'm not going to say the leader of Ahmadiyya is the most purest man on earth. He has made statements that have disagreed with him. At a point, he said Dan Pare is the best police chief. That point, I don't agree with him, because Dan Pare led his men to go shoot people at Techiman South. They were Muslims. The Ahmadiyya leader did not speak on it. So when the Ahmadiyya leader says Dan Pare is the best police chief in Ghana and what he has done has never happened, I disagree with him, because even those people who were shot at Techiman South, they are Muslims. Why didn't the Ahmadiyya leader tell Dan Pare that is wrong? But in this instance, I agree with him, because you cannot, when it comes to the word of Allah, when it comes to the greatness of Allah, man cannot take the lead. Samira Bawumia was sitting there, and every time they want to go and destroy Allah's work, they go together. They always go together. You see, today when she went there, she was in a veil like Eddie and Salah Chensi with good night abesin in Nasi, because Odris Ahmadiyya for the Jimmy. Mahamudu Bawumia and Ireno, they are political jobbers. They look at you people and they feed on you, they destroy the religions. And Samira Eko Ahmadiyya for no wa dressing net akogu ni nase odun kran no apaina we mu no nenam ho because she believes say it is all about appearance, it is all about being a hypocrite. So that is the problem with these two people. They are the Munifikis. Bawumia and his wife, they don't believe in Islam. They see themselves as Christian more than being Muslims. They only see them as tools for winning power. That is why sometimes you see Mahamudu Bawumia every time he's going to a church, but you see his wife following him. What they do is they want to always put in the brains of people that we are people that you can trust. They cannot boldly proclaim the name of Allah. Samira today she's in church. She has wore corset. Her boobs are all in her face. The next day she has worn a veil like Salah Chensin and she's sitting in front of Muslims. Where do you belong? Because if you are a genuine Muslim, what we know about Muslim or Islamic religion is that every day, 24 hours, you have to cover yourself as a Muslim woman. So today, you are standing outside wearing a disco cloth that costs $50,000. You have a slit that has your cleavage, that has your shape showing to everyone that you are the one with the shrinked ass. Then you come to me and you wear a veil. What are you portraying? And that is what they do every single day. We need to understand and respect Allah. What these people have done today, if you are an Ahmadiyya person, you should be angry. You should not see this in a slight. You should not just sit there and say, oh, it happened. If your leader had not taken a step, that Ahmadiyya, the religion that started around 1882 thereabout, would have been condemned today. What religion does not need is false perception. When people create perception, people's action creates perception for a religion. That is the beginning of the end of the religion. And today, the Ahmadiyya mission has been stronger. It has shown that it is unique and it is ready to speak truth. It is ready to serve Allah in His wisdom. It is ready to at least show Ghanaians it is not a political setup. What about the rest of our religious bodies, especially my own fellow Christian religion? Why have we allowed these politicians? Why are we allowing them to destroy us? Why are we always allowing these people? Ahmadiyya has shown the way. They have shown us that Allah is great, that we should always focus on Allah. Politics should play no role whenever we meet in the name of Allah. Mahamudu Bawumia has always, and scholars have told us, Bawumia is a liar. Bawumia is a munifiki. Bawumia has never, ever stood to tell Ghanaians that he is a true Muslim who believes in Allah and does not lie. Bawumia cannot even today on Ghana of me if we had made a mistake, if the Ahmadiyya leadership had sat down, Mahamudu Bawumia would have destroyed what Allah has built over these years. We all need to understand it's about time we started speaking on these issues.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.